INEOS have now completed their first summer in charge of Manchester United's football operations. With 5 major signings and more than 10 significant departures, it's been one of the biggest transfer windows United have ever had. But was it one of the best? It's time to rank every United signing and give an overall rating to the summer transfer window. I think it's pretty safe to say that Manchester United have had a crap start to the season. Beat Fulham, but let's not speak about what happened after. But the summer, given that INEOS came in late and Barada came in late and Ashworth came in late, there were fears that it was just going to be a repeat of a summer where everything goes wrong. But I think a lot of what happened this summer was excellent. And arguably, you could say it's Man United's best summer in a long, long time. I'm going to run through every single signing that we made, every single sale that happened, give it a quick rating out of 10, and then give the window an overall rating out of 10, and also what I would have changed to have made it a 10 out of 10. You can let me know yours in the comments. Try and make this as interactive as possible. But yeah, a lot happened this summer. 5 major signings, a couple for the academies, and so many exits that I have to go down and scroll down a bit. So many things happened. So let's just quickly run through these and give them a rating out of 10 in terms of how good they were. Now, and we start with Joshua Zirkzee. I think I'm going to put that down as an 8 out of 10. I think Zirkzee, for the price that he was, represents a really exciting opportunity. No one knows how many goals he's going to score for us, blah, 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 blah. But at the profile that he was and the age that he was, and I think the player that he could be for United, I'm going to give it an 8. Now, Yoro, I'm going to give that a 9. And no one expected Yoro to be signed when it happened, all right? Nobody. Not even the most optimistic of United fan. Will it turn out to be 52 million, maybe rising to 62? Well spent. We'll find out in the goodness of time. But given that nobody gave us a chance in hell of it happening, and him choosing United for a place that he feels he can properly develop, I think that was a bit of a statement sign. So I'm going to give that a 9. Ligt, price-wise, again, I'm very happy with those 3 signings. Ligt, will the injuries curtail his United career? Touch wood, it doesn't, and maybe that will drop down to a 4, and that'll be the reason why. But I think Ligt could become a sort of leader character that we genuinely need more of. I could, if he stays injury-free, I can easily see him being captain when Bruno leaves. That would be a bit of a prediction on my part. But I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Mazraoui coming in for Wan-Bissaka. Honestly, I think that's... For Wan-Bissaka to leave, instead of being a free transfer, and Man United to just use that money without any real outlay and bring Mazraoui in, I think is a 9 out of 10 signing. However, again, same thing. Will the injuries stop that from being what we want and we need it to be? Question marks. And I suppose that'll be seen across the course of the season. Now, Ugarte down there, right? I think I'm going to go for a 7 on Ugarte. I think Ugarte is going to improve United's midfield, but I genuinely do think that there were other midfielders out there, given how much we spent on him overall, actually, as well, that probably could have done what Ugarte is going to bring, and maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to be looking at Amadou Onana in that sense. And there's not really much point me putting a rating on Kone or Obi Martin, on Lucelle. But overall, it's exciting for us to see those academy signings, and let's see how they get on. So let's move on to the exits, all right? And there's going to be some big numbers here. Martial, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for Varane. McNeil, I mean, these ones don't really need. Forson, that's fine. Fine. Good luck. Good luck. Right, let's go down to it. Alvaro Fernandez going for 5.1 mil to Benfica. Probably put that down as a bit of a 6 out of 10. I would have liked a little bit more up front, but I believe we've got the sell-on and the buyback with him, so maybe that'll be increased. 6 out of 10. Donny van der Beek for 422 grand. I'm probably going to push that one up to a 7 and then leave Donny on a 6. It's a 10 out of 10 in the fact that Van der Beek should have left, but it's a 6 out of 10 because we couldn't get anything up front for him. But at the same time, at least United actually moved a player on rather than hoard him because we're not getting the right amount of money. Cambuala, going to go for a 7 on that one. Again, I think it would have been better if we got more money for... It's going to be a repeated pattern, I say, for a lot of these exits. But at least United got the buybacks, got the sell-on clauses, and that in itself makes a lot of these exits... They might be low on the money end now, but in a few years' time, maybe when the sell-on clauses kick in, that's when United will make the money from these sales. Now, Mason Greenwood. Only thing stopping that from being a 10 is the fact that we didn't get enough money up front for him. I need to quickly move that across there. So Greenwood's on, that's much better. Right, there you go. That's much better. I would have liked to have got more upfront for him, but I think 50% of all profits is a good deal. Wan-Bissaka, I'm putting that down as a straight 9 as well. United previously would have held on to Wan-Bissaka, tried to probably renegotiate a new contract in the confidence that he would have signed one, and then we would have just not signed a replacement this summer. He would have been stuck in contract negotiations for half the season, and then he would have left on a free transfer anyway. So I'm going to go for a 9 out of 10 on Wan-Bissaka. Pellistri for 5 mil. Definitely feels undersold. But again, rinse and repeat. United just struggled to get the prices that we wanted to get for players this summer. We really, really did. Fish going to Cardiff. I mean, there's no reason why that's not a 10. Good luck to you elsewhere. Oyedele, rather than hoarding players and keeping Oyedele at the club, even though he's not going to play, we sold him. I don't actually know how much we got for him, so in that sense, I can't really give it a 10. Let's give it an 8. I don't really know how much he went for. McTominay. That's a tough one to mark, actually. Probably going to give it a 9. And none of that is to do with the fact that I want McTominay to leave, but it just marked a slightly different transfer for United. Actually selling a player who could have squad value to reinvest into the overall squad is not a mindset that we've been in for a long time. Going to go down as a 9. Hannibal for 5.4. I'll tell you what. What is it? We've got a buyback. We've also got 50% sell-on. Good. Fine with that. And there's no point speaking about the loans. So that's how many deals we ran through this summer. Like, there's the totals down there. Let me bring that one up a little bit so you can see that a little bit more. Cool. A lot happened. Okay? And if I'm going to give an overall rating to the signings, I think I'm going to go for a 7.5. I was thinking about the numbers beforehand, right? I'm going to go for a 7.5. I think we could have done a bit better. And if I'm being greedy, I would have liked another central midfielder. So that's why I'm giving it a 7.5. I think it was a good summer in terms of signings, but of course it could have been better. And in terms of sales, I actually think overall I'm going to give it an 8.5. So many players leaving, some that could have stayed and previously probably would have stayed. Of course, there are things I would have wanted to change and improve, and that's what I'm going to run through next. But I'm going to give sales an overall of 8.5 out of 10. And for United this summer, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So many of us were predicting pain, predicting United not to make the signings that we wanted. And we got not just one centre-back in Yoro, who nobody expected, but 2 centre-backs in Yoro and Ligt, which nobody would have expected. We also got a central midfielder in Ugarte. We got another centre-forward in Zirkzee. And on top of all of that, we got Mazraoui out and Wan-Bissaka in. I forgot about that. Hence why I look back. But this is what I would have personally said. Like, what's going to make it a 10 out of 10 then? I think if we had sold Casemiro and replaced him, that would have immediately raised it to a 9 out of 10. That was something I had on my list at the beginning, and I didn't need the performance against Liverpool to see that. United just couldn't sell him, and it's down to the big wages and his age. Signing Ugarte before the pre-season started, we could have had Ugarte in for these first 3 games. Instead, he's coming in, and the expectations and the pressures are now different as a consequence of them. In an ideal world, he would have been signed earlier. Signing an experienced centre-forward as an option, and this is kind of like Football Manager style. All the things that you could have done in the summer that you didn't do. But that would have been a good one, I think. An alternative, like a more traditional number 9. But we didn't have the funds for it. And selling Lindelof and signing a left centre-back, left-back cover. I think if we had done all of those, I think my overall rating for this window would have been an 8 out of 10. But all those aside, I think United fans will look back at this window and go, you know what? That was a really successful first window for INEOS. Was it perfect? No. Will there ever be a perfect transfer window? I'd be very surprised. But from where we were to that is a significant upgrade. Now, do that three summers in a row, INEOS, and you probably have built a squad that's capable of competing for the Premier League. All right? Let me know what you think in the comments below. What's your overall rating? As I said, I've given it an 8 out of 10. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below what you disagree with, which is probably going to be about 74.6% of the video.